is there no adjustment that he's going to make?
I think you got to keep trying. I mean, Russell Westbrook is supremely talented. We know that so much of his game is predicated on his athleticism, on his motor, on the aggressiveness and assertiveness of which he plays, but it always has come down to the word efficiency, and that's been the biggest factor.
Because that works if those shots are going in and if you're doing the right thing.
Right. But I think for Russ, and we saw him throughout the course of different seasons taking more three-point shots and the pace he plays, and that's where shot selection for any player is always a major factor in how good they are and how effective they are, and that's where Russell Westbrook struggles. And you can't tell me that a player that can make up his mind, as he did against the Lakers, to go out and get 20, 20, and 20 can't be someone that could be a dominant force on a team. However,
that's a great point.
You've got, I mean, that is extraordinary. And so you can't tell me he wouldn't be a major addition to a team that's got a great infrastructure, an excellent head coach, someone that understands how to utilize different pieces and role players, and a player like Jimmy Butler. But it will have to come down to careful strategy, careful game planning on how to figure out the best places to put Russell Westbrook, how to make sure that the coach is the one, and whether this is pregame, postgame, offseason, preseason, going through film, showing him good and I don't know, and these are things I truly don't know. I talk to people from Oklahoma City that enjoy playing with Russ, that like Russ, that have enjoyed coaching Russ, that believe in what he can be, but it's all about trying to show him what shots he should and shouldn't be taking, end-of-game situations. And we saw him last year, which I know Nick has talked about, deferring to Paul George and giving him opportunity to really take over that team. However, when push comes to shove, I think more of the issues with Russ come down to the fourth quarter decisions, decision-making at the end of the game, and that's where he often falls short, and those are the areas of which you would need to make sure to improve.
It's about his jump shot more than anything. It starts and almost ends with his jump shot. The last 2 years, he has led the league in assists. He is the best rebounder at his position in the league. We know how hard he works, that he takes no games off. Now, you might want him to see a little more effort on the defensive end that he puts on the offensive end, but that is the case for 85% of the players in the league. The problem is he takes shots as if he's a very good shooter, and last year he was a horrible shooter, and over the course of his career he's been an average shooter. And he's now in a position where he's the second worst high-volume three-point shooter in the history of the NBA. Only Charles Barkley has taken at least 2,000 threes at a lower percentage than
And
Russ.
Charles Barkley, the game was changing at that point. He was forced because he had lost a lot of his athleticism. He couldn't play above the rim. His post game would be enhanced if he was able to shoot. So his game was forced to shoot those three. I don't know what's happened in Russ's career that makes him think he should take 400 threes.
Right. Well, it's crazy. And everybody knows it but him. Yeah. And I don't think he's going to stop shooting threes entirely. In fact, I don't think he should stop shooting threes entirely. The question is, can he get back to just average, slightly below average three-point shooting? Like for the league-wide, if he can shoot 34% from three, which we've seen him do in a couple of seasons, then he goes back to being, without question, one of the 12 most effective players in the league, a dominant force. It's when he's shooting like he did the first half of last year, the first 50 games of last year, 25% from three, that he can become a net negative efficiency-wise on your offense.
And we'll see who Miami, if this does in fact go through, and who they would trade, what the roster fills out. Miami is a team that over the last couple, it's not like they've had a lot of strong three-point shooters necessarily. This isn't a team that much of their game and system and offensively is surrounding three-point shooters. We saw Dwayne Wade be such a extraordinary player for them, with much of what he does is in the mid-range. So they are accustomed and used to working with players and getting the best out of players that aren't knocked down three-point shooters. And so I think part of that too comes back to getting Russ to understand the system, how they're going to play, and where he is supposed to be getting his shots from in the context of the offense.
Pat Riley is used to going out, making blockbuster deals, getting big-time NBA players. And this takes me back to when he signed Shaquille O'Neal. And when he signed Shaq, it was clear, this is Dwayne Wade's team. And they told him that. And they had other specific things that they put in place. He had a weight clause in his contract as far as practice, the nightlife. Like, they came down hard on Shaq. Shaq made the adjustments, won him another championship. Now, Russ, will he do that? Because I know Pat Riley did that for Dwayne Wade when he had to defer to LeBron. He did that to LeBron. Was LeBron at the right playing weight? His overall condition. They made him change some things. Chris Bosh, when he signed, they forced him to change some things. Now, will Russ be able to listen to Pat Riley? Because Pat Riley is demanding, and if they trade for Russ, he can't continue to play this way. I'd be shocked if he shot 400 threes for a team that's run by Pat Riley.
Can he be successful if he doesn't play this way? Or are you going to see what you saw last year?
No, well, I think that this is the way he elongates his career. I mean, this is going to be year 12 now. He was for a long time a top 3 raw athlete in the league. I don't think he is that anymore. I think he's still a top 15 raw athlete, but that's going to go down each and every year. The way guards can play 15, 16 years is if they develop a shot. Why did Jason Kidd get to play, damn near 20 years? Because he developed a shot after not having one early in his career.
He could play off the ball those last few years.
And won a championship.
Yep.
After never getting to 2 finals with the Nets but not winning a title. Like, Russ has the respect of the entire league. Everyone knows how much it means to him. People respect his loyalty, his tenacity, his fearlessness. But at some point for Russ, it's got to be less heart and more head. And that has been the struggle for him. Now, I will say, you mentioned Pat Riley. I'll say another name. Spoelstra would be the best coach he's ever had by an enormous margin. Could the culture shock of being traded, of it not working, it came close to working with Durant, but it didn't. It didn't work the year no one was there. It didn't work the 2 years Paul George was there. Then George leaves. Now you're traded. Is that enough of a shock to the system for Russ to finally recognize, I've got to adjust? If not, then he'll be what he is, which is a future first ballot Hall of Famer, a great player of his era, but a guy who in some ways couldn't get out of his own way.
All right. Sarah, stick around one more segment.
Yep.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.